sexiest spring fragrances for men. So, fragrances for spring, usually, they're pretty refreshing, crisp, clean, all that. I've compiled a small list of fragrances that are pretty reminiscent of spring, but still pretty masculine as well. And as always, all the fragrances I mention will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with one that I think is a pretty at least a well-known one, which is Creed Aventus in this nice fancy card. Creed Aventus is the luxury option for your, springtime fragrance collection. This is a nice kind of citrusy, slightly spicy, slightly just aromatic type of fragrance. Very fresh. You could just tell it's luxury by smelling it. One of those fragrances that kind of stand out. I like the opening the most, just because it's that nice, clean, crisp feel to it. And then once it settles down on the skin, the citrus notes shine through, and it maintains this kind of clean, wafting smell to it. Now, it isn't super long lasting. It's about maybe 6 hours, so not super in longevity, but the smell alone is very, very appealing. Very nice for, even early spring to late spring. You could wear this often. You could even wear this into the summer. It's a very versatile type of fragrance. And the projection is pretty good as well. People will definitely notice when you wear this. It kind of stands out because it does smell very unique. But besides this, maybe you're not big into Creed fragrances because they are pretty expensive, and maybe you want something longer lasting. Then I would say a good option is Dylan Blue from Versace. This is an extremely popular option, very mainstream, but despite being mainstream, it's just good. You can't really. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about Dylan Blue, just because it's one of those tried and true, just good to go type of fragrances. It's fresh, it's sharp, it's masculine, it's firm, it's long lasting, has some kind of metallic notes, a little bit of spicy notes, aquatic, citrusy, has a whole bunch of things. And it's that perfect blend of masculine yet fresh and clean. And it lasts a good while, probably about 7-ish hours, maybe even bordering on 8. But another bonus is that this is pretty affordable. I believe this is about $60. It's definitely under 100, but around 60, I think. And this, again, it's one of those kind of all the time fragrances where it works in all occasions. Any time of the year, not just springtime. Any occasion, you don't have to think about wearing this. It just smells good, and that's it. Now, maybe you don't want something so mainstream. Maybe you already have Dylan Blue, you want something different. Then, a very, very niche option you could try is shant V Cedar, which is vetiver cedar. You're obviously getting the vetiver and the cedar in here, but you're also getting some stronger notes, like there's some benzoin, there's some patchouli, a little bit of musk thrown in there. But really the vetiver and the cedar shine through the most, and the cedar is really nice. You could really get, it's like an authentic woodsy, foresty smell, and then at the same time the vetiver kind of comes in, warms it up a little, not too much, gives it a little bit of earthiness, grassiness, that sort of thing. It also has some florals in it, there's iris in it, but for the most part, this is not a very sweet fragrance. This is more of a dry, woodsy fragrance, which is very appealing for springtime because it does have that, just in general, very bright and clean and kind of sharp. There's also some citrus notes in the beginning, some bergamot and grapefruit, and a little bit of pink pepper. But this is definitely a nice option if you want to try something that's more niche, more off the beaten path, and just very unique in general. Then, the next one which I don't have, which is another popular option, which is Dior Sage. This is more of kind of an intermediate type of spring fragrance, maybe early spring when it's still cold. I guess it depends on where you are if it's still cold, but the thing about Dior Sage, even though it is a pretty popular option, it's a tried and true option, kind of like Dylan Blue, but just one step up, where it's just a very attractive, men's fragrance. It's aromatic. It has those citrus notes, the pink pepper, the wood notes, some spice, you know, things like that. So it's all blended together into this sharp, fresh, long-lasting, intense fragrance that is not going to let you down. It's going to last for most of the day, most of the evening. It's pretty versatile. It's not too cold or too warm. It's very much in the middle for most things. And again, it's just a very appealing, attractive fragrance. And being from Dior, you can just know that it's crafted well. It has a high quality to it. So you can't really go too wrong with it, unless maybe you already have it, or you've just smelled it so often that you're kind of sick and tired of it. But besides that, most people find it very attractive, and again, it's one of those tried and true men's fragrances. But say maybe you're not interested in Dior Sauvage, you want something a little bit different, then hear me out on this one. This is Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede. Now, when you first put this on, you might find this, you might think, oh, this is a little bit too feminine because of the peony. But if you wait like 20 minutes, the peony note will kind of drift away and you'll be left with almost pure suede. When I tried this, I was actually very surprised at how leathery it was, which I quite like. I like leathery fragrances. And it's just a really unique form of leather, a leather fragrance here, because it is a very strong suede note, but at the same time, like the peony, for example, it lightens it up just a little bit to maintain its kind of springtime aura that it has in the opening. So it's more of a really warm, rugged type of springtime fragrance, and it does have some sweetness from the peony, but not as much as you would expect. It's definitely one of those fragrances that you should probably try first in a sample and see if you like it, because it kind of morphs around as it dries down on the skin. But definitely, because this is a unisex fragrance, but definitely a nice option if you're looking for something leathery with a little touch of sweetness and a little touch of freshness. But this is a nice option, and it's actually surprisingly long-lasting, about 7-ish hours, maybe even 8. But that is pretty much my list here of spring fragrances for men. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, of course, you can leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos like this throughout the week, so stick around for those.